Good evening, I'm Tips Mahoy and this is ArthIntel Evening Edition. Coming up, Iranian rial hits record low as the U.S. unveils new sanctions. Karen Solomon, wife wanted in connection with Worcester police officer's death, found dead. Firefighters are trying to stop a fast-moving Nevada wildfire from spreading to homes in Reno. That plus a check of the weather across the country. We begin tonight with the top stories from around the world. Iran's currency has hit a record low, plunging to 2.02 million rials to the dollar, as the U.S. rolled out what it's calling Operation Economic Outcast. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced sanctions on more than 60 targets, expanding into digital assets, technology, gold, aviation, and shipping, which he called an economic onslaught against Iran's financial connections worldwide. Bessent specifically named Bank Melli, an Iranian government-owned bank, saying every branch must be shuttered and dark or lose access to U.S. dollars. According to the Treasury, the bank has previously provided services to entities supporting Iran's nuclear and ballistic programs. Karen Solomon, the wife wanted for questioning in the death of her husband, Worcester police officer Kurt Solomon, has been found dead after a multi-day search, police announced Monday. 2 hospital employees discovered her body in the woods near Mill Street and Coe's Pond, about a half-mile from the couple's home, and police say a gun was found nearby. Kurt Solomon, a 31-year veteran of the force, was found dead at their Wildwood Avenue home Tuesday. His cause of death has not been released. Worcester Police Chief Paul Saucier said the family had no history of domestic abuse, and that investigators believe this was a tragic murder-suicide, though he said there is still work to do to wrap up the case. Firefighters near Reno, Nevada say they're making progress against the Hawk Fire, which has burned about 23 square miles and is now 27% contained. Officials say at least 32 homes have been destroyed and 6 damaged, with those numbers expected to rise as crews assess the burn area. Evacuation orders and warnings now cover about 63,000 residents, down from more than 90,000 at the fire's peak over the weekend. Nevada's governor has declared a state of emergency and mobilized the National Guard, as officials warn that shifting winds could still push flames into nearby neighborhoods. Turning now to politics. Your website should make you money, most don't. Toolbox Development builds sites that actually rank on Google and turn visitors into calls. No contracts. Find them at toolboxdevelopment.net. The Supreme Court has paused a lower court ruling that had blocked key parts of President Trump's executive order restricting mail-in voting ahead of this fall's midterms. The order affects roughly 24 mostly Democratic-led states and Washington, D.C., though the High Court did not rule on whether Trump's order is actually legal. Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson dissented, with Jackson warning the decision needlessly injects chaos and uncertainty into the midterms. New York Attorney General Letitia James, whose state is among those suing, called the ruling a painful setback, but said it will not be the final word. Former Illinois Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson has died while serving a 20-year prison sentence for the fatal shooting of Sonya, according to his attorney, Daniel Fultz. Grayson, 32, was convicted in October of second-degree murder in the July 2024 shooting death of Massey, a 36-year-old black woman who had called 911 to report a possible prowler outside her Springfield area home. He had been battling colon cancer, which his attorneys said had spread to his liver and lungs, and the Illinois Prisoner Review Board denied his request for medical release last month. Grayson's attorney did not provide further details about the cause of his death. The Trump administration is preparing what officials say would be the largest mass revocation of visas in U.S. history. According to State Department documents obtained by the Associated Press and 2 U.S. officials, up to 200,000 business and tourism visa holders who sought asylum could see their visas revoked in the coming weeks. State Department spokesman Tommy Pigott says the agency is coordinating with the Department of Homeland Security to identify people who entered as short-term visitors, but then filed for asylum to stay permanently. Officials say the revocations would not necessarily mean immediate deportation, but most pending asylum cases would be recategorized, stripping holders of their business or tourist status. Michigan congressional nominee Abdul El-Sayed is facing renewed scrutiny over comments made by podcaster Hasan Piker, who he has embraced during his campaign. During a Thursday live stream, Piker called the idea that American Jews are monolithic in their support of Israel a dangerous mode of propaganda, warning that such messaging could lead someone to take action against American Jews. Jewish State Senator Jeremy Moss, who was featured in the stream over his pro-Israel stance, denounced Piker's remarks as an attempt to create further divisions, saying he will not be lectured by a California podcaster about what Michigan's Jewish community should believe. According to Politico, El-Sayed has struggled to unify Michigan Democrats since his primary win, a race marked by accusations of anti-Semitism tied partly to his own views on Israel and his association with Piker. Now to the money, finance, and crypto. This spot is available. ArthIntel reaches a daily news audience on the Evening Edition and across ArthIntel.com. To advertise with us, visit ArthIntel.com. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is signaling the government could tap its nearly $1 trillion general account to power up its bond-buying plans. According to senior Treasury officials, that cash cushion could help fund last week's surprise move to double buybacks of long-term government bonds from $2 billion to at least $4 billion. Bessent, speaking on CNBC, dubbed the strategy a Treasury twist, referencing an operation where long-term treasuries are purchased using short-term issuance. Officials wouldn't say how much of the account might be used or when, but said the funds are available as bond yields have risen amid market skepticism about the plan's firepower. And now, today's top stories from the world of sports. The Steelers are at what coach Mike McCarthy calls an impasse with cornerback Joey Porter Jr., who is seeking a new contract and has yet to practice this camp. Porter is currently on the physically unable to perform list after aggravating his back during a mobility test on the first day of training camp. Teammate Jalen Ramsey, speaking to ESPN, said the team needs to get a deal done, adding the secondary has not been out there together yet. The Steelers face an unofficial deadline of September 13, when they open the season at home against the Falcons. Six-time All-Star DeWanna Bonner has agreed to a buyout with the Phoenix Mercury, who have been eliminated from playoff contention, opening the door for the 39-year-old to chase one more championship. Because she was waived ahead of Monday's deadline, Bonner is eligible to join a new team for the postseason. Phoenix general manager Nick Uren says the move gives Bonner, a two-time champion, the opportunity to chase a title in what could be her final postseason. According to CBS Sports, the Las Vegas Aces, Atlanta Dream, and New York Liberty are among the contenders who could pursue the veteran wing. And finally, here's a look at temperatures across the country right now. It's hottest in Phoenix at 106 degrees, while Chicago is the coolest spot on the board this evening at 66. That's ArthIntel Evening Edition for now, 10 stories coast to coast. I'm Tips Mahoy for ArthIntel, Signal over Noise. Don't miss our next broadcast. Like, subscribe, and enable notifications now. Find more in-depth reporting at ArthIntel.com.